Welcome to a soggy Poplar Grove Golf Club in Amherst, Virginia. Joe Hutzler and Director of Golf at University of Lynchburg, Mike Viverka, along for this one today. We got hole 7 and hopefully hole 18 as long as the equipment doesn't get too wet, Coach. We've got our first group coming up. I don't know who they are, so could you explain who they are for us?
So we've got them paired in a mixed pairing. So we got 2 guys and 2 girls into each pairing of a mixed bag on the red and gray teams. So we've got actually pretty mixed in this group. So 1 red player and 1 gray player in each one of those carts that you see going in. So on the top tee there, on the men's group, we've got a freshman in the red, Andrew Watson out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, and one of our returning sophomores, Stephen Walsh out of Chantilly. Down here on the women's side, we've got Emily Squared, the 2 roommates of Emily Brubaker and Emily Erickson. Both freshmen, 1 from Raleigh and 1 from Green Bay, Virginia.
Green Bay, Virginia. All right, never heard of that. And I'm sure that people that are tuning in probably haven't heard a lot of these names and faces. It seems like you've got a pretty young squad between the men and the women. What about that from a coaching standpoint is nice to have?
From where we are now, it's awesome because on paper and really in the first few weeks of them practicing, we have the strongest teams that we've seen probably in school history, especially on the women's side, obviously with it being the second year, but really so on the men's side. A lot of young talent kind of coming in and taking control right away. So these 2 on the men's side about to tee off represent the last 2 winners on our Hornet Golf Tour. Andrew taking the first and Stephen taking the second. So where they're playing from up there right now is about 184 yards to a pretty tricky pin. Hitting probably 7-8 iron and hoping that ball turns because it's coming right towards us.
It sure is.
Oh, he's trying to play the bank shot off the wall, it looks like.
Well, that works in a mini golf.
It does. It could have worked if he had hit it just a hair further. It's tough to judge right now with the wind coming down with them. And it looks like about a 12-yard drop for them from that tee box to this green. So it's probably going to play 170 in real life.
We'll give some direction to our camera guy as we try something for the first time here. First ever live stream of a golf round on LHSN.
Stephen likes to predominantly play a little right-to-left draw. So he'll probably start it out looking right at us, and if all goes to plan, turning back. So playing well right. Looks like the club might have slipped out of his hand, actually. And it did.
Wow.
We're gonna be treated to some fun short game shots coming up.
Well, we need to tell very portable over here, so I mean, they're going to have to hit around.
We're not the target. I think they're not seeing the flag there on the green, but it looks like this is the heaviest rain we've seen all day. It had kind of been clear up until now, but this is college golf. I mean, this is what we see quite a bit out on the road.
Well, let me ask you a question about this particular golf course. Obviously, before you came, and even I think your first year, this was the home course for Lynchburg. But I don't believe that any of these players in a competitive standing have played over here, have they?
No. We have a few on the men's side who have come out here and played casual rounds, whether with parents or other teammates. But beyond that, no, it's a fresh course for a lot of them. And one that it can be a little quirky and a little tricky first time out. So we're certainly seeing that. Some of the young players are playing well, and some of the returning vets are showing around on how to play those shots when it's just a brand new course in every hole, really. But it looks like they're taking to it well. It looks like Steven's going to hit a provisional up there.
Oh,
perfectly allowed in the rules of golf. If he didn't see it come down, and they don't have an idea if it came down in an opening.
So we got Stephen Walsh up top going to hit again. And this looks much better.
It does. If it's going to cut, should be left side green if it holds. Perfect. The second guy is always better, right?
Well, you certainly hope so after that first shot.
That's right.
For sure.
So we got the Green Bay native, which is just south of Farmville. Went to the Fuqua school over there. Powerhouse hitter. Playing a little soft cut. That should be good if it holds. But again, I don't think they're feeling the downwind or downhill slope that's actually back there.
Well, and the spot that she landed in is pretty thick, and I think that's where the sprinklers are. So
sprinklers, and it looks like fresh sod. So Probably the healthiest grass that you're going to see around here.
No question about that. So the other Emily.
Yeah, the other Emily
is
out
stepping up.
Out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Pretty quick player, so she'll probably fire away pretty quickly here. Ooh, that ball's got to get up just a little bit.
Yeah, that one.
All right, safely aboard. Little 25 to 30-foot putt, but straight up the hill. If she'd have gone a little bit more to our left, her right, she'd have been influenced by a pretty subtle slope that is more deceiving from the player standpoint than anything else. But we're going to see some interesting shots here. Now, they are playing lift clean in place, just obviously because of the weather. Plug lies are definitely a commonality here. So you'll see them mark and move their balls. Obviously, that'd be a little different from normal circumstances. But
well, let me ask you about the greens today. Obviously, the rain affects those types of pieces of the golf game. How does it affect it? For those that aren't really sure, like when we look at it on camera right now, it looks fine. But obviously, it's soaked with water.
It is. So it plays into a few factors. One, and I guess you can go from order of how you're going to play it, but shots coming into the green. Obviously, the greens are going to be a little bit softer, a little bit more receptive, as we saw with Emily's ball there. It hit, took a crater out, and kind of hung on, whereas normally in a little firmer setting, it might have taken one or two hops forward. So that's something that they're going to have to adjust for, especially going forward in the round if this continues up at this level. But on the putting surface, it's going to affect the roll marginally. If we get substantial rain, it's certainly going to impact it. Be a little bit more like all these chip shots right here. For example, that first impact from the chip shot landing on the green, ball might skid a little bit more than it would bite.
Makes sense.
So
the opposite of what Emily did on her tee shot.
You have to adapt to that on the approach shot, the chip shot, and the putt, all a little bit different.
So right now, Coach Viverka having to play the coaching role and talk to Stephen Walsh about where his ball is, his first ball that he hit. So let me ask you about that. Obviously, his second one was way better. Is he just looking for that first ball so he can keep it?
He is. If he finds it, he has to play it.
Okay. Okay.
Once he keeps walking forward. So the provisional shot that he just hit,
Watson with a...
So you saw the little chip shot there, kind of skidded a little bit on that first hop. Not a bad putt, though. Going to be coming right back uphill. Smart play on a really a tough shot because he was kind of on a bare patch there in the back, surrounded by deep grass. Makes the shot even harder.
What's impressed you about someone like Andrew? I mean, I've only seen him play a couple holes, but he seems pretty confident in his game.
He's definitely quietly confident. To the point where he lets his clubs do the talking most of the time. He'll throw the occasional subtle trash talk in there, as many of them do, but he predominantly lets the sticks do the talking. And that's going to roll out to be kind of like the opposite side of that shot. She took the higher, a little softer route than Andrew did. Andrew went with a little bit more aggressive shot here. Now Steven's going to have a fun shot.
Yeah, Steven's got a little more to think about in terms of where his ball is. I mean, it's in the mulch, I believe.
He's going to have to deal with one, gravity going against him, a man-made obstruction, it looks like, from the retaining walls here on these nice new flower beds, and a slick surface. So I think depending upon the lie, which he should be able to give himself a decent one, he's going to go pretty vertical with this shot and try to get it to come down soft. I think anything within 15 feet in reality is a quality shot.
Well, take a look. He sets up and ready to go.
Certainly an awkward lie.
Real high.
Vertical, high spinning shot. That's phenomenal.
Well done.
That's all you want. That's, like I said, 15 feet was going to be a good shot. 8 feet, excellent shot.
Excellent, excellent.
And we got our one birdie look of the group here.
It's a pretty far putt, as you mentioned, uphill.
It is,
as
and
well.
that's the thing on these greens. In addition to that, we talked about the putting surface changing with the water on it. It's going to slow down in comparison to the first 6 holes that they've played. Because really, they played the first 6 in little to no rain. It just started to come on right when we came on,
sure did.
on the broadcast here. And that's golf, though. I mean, you're going to see that change every single hole.
That's also this part of Virginia.
At 100%.
Well, here's a birdie attempt on par 3, hole 7. Up the hill and
Great pace.
just
And so the
not
thing
online.
is, sometimes the ball tends to react, again, differently with the, we talked about the speed of the greens, but even on the break sometimes, the moisture on the ground helps to retain the ball, and it kind of influences its break throughout the putt. So you got to change the way you're reading the putts, the way you're hitting the putts, really adapt your entire game to it on the fly. But that's what makes it so much fun.
Well, for some folks, that's why they don't come out here.
True.
And do this. The frustration level is too much, but not for these golfers.
No, I think they embrace the fun challenge here. All right, Emily.
Opportunity for par. Just to the left.
Just lipped on the low side there. Smooth roll, though, it looked like. The greens are rolling, awesomely right now. They're in phenomenal shape. I think they have the Virginia State Golf Association 4-ball championship here next weekend, so they're getting them everything all prepped up and ready to roll.
Watson, yes.
Great up and down.
So Watson the first to sink it.
And that's the other thing about that I've been really impressed, really with everyone on both squads, is they have that quiet confidence, but they don't let the highs and lows that college golf can bring get to them. You'll be happy about a good putt like that, but they won't be torn to pieces if it should lip out.
Right. Well, they know they have 12 more holes to go.
Exactly. It's always a marathon.
So after that excellent chip from way outside for Walsh, here he is to putt it in. It's good.
What a phenomenal up and
done.
down.
That is not the conventional par, but certainly worth a fist pump.
I'm telling you, I think the gray team's going to be excited to hear he saved that one after that tee shot.
Mm-hmm. 2 more to go here for the ladies. Again, red versus gray, Hornet Cup, golf action, and another lip service gone bad for one of the Emilys.
It might come from the fact that they're roommates and a lot of times practice teammates, and might be wearing off on each other there. But the thing you'll see about them that has really impressed me is that they'll both be smiling before they're on to the next hole, which is tough to do after something like this.
So well done by the first group all around. You've got 3 groups today playing in the golf's edition of the Hornet Cup. Again, this is something that will be going on all week long into next Sunday even. There's a full schedule of Hornet Cup events for at lynchburgsports.com. And we had tennis the other day, 2-1 win for Team Gray. And now we're here at Poplar Grove Golf Club in Amherst, Virginia. I want to ask you a question about that first group we just saw. Obviously, we talked about the youth part of it. What were the reasons behind your decision making on these groups that we're going to see today?
Yeah, so one, to split up the teams and see a little bit of the red versus gray kind of trash talk take place and the subtleties of that. But one, they're close to each other in our season-long Blue Ridge Cup / Hornet Golf Tour points race. So wanted to see how they interact with each other in that standpoint. But really mix it up, because a lot of times, especially in normal seasons, our men's team and our women's team are all separate, and they're not playing the same event except for sometimes our conference event. So it a little different feel when you're paired up in a different group like that. So change it up and have a little bit of fun too.
Well, so far, how would you assess their growth? And I'm not just talking about today, but obviously you've talked about the the Blue Ridge Tour a few times that you guys have put together. What have you noticed that maybe you weren't expecting, maybe something they picked up quicker than you thought?
I think the biggest thing for me, the golf standpoint is one that I see the most, but one of the things that surprised me was how well the team gelled together right away on both teams, really. From the first practice, really, and from our first meeting, they seem to be great teammates together. Support one another, whether they're, playing out here playing in the rain or in the classroom. We go up to the indoor facility from time to time, and I see a few of them up there helping each other with accounting homework, just the same as they're helping each other with their putting stroke. So that team mentality is in a great spot for both squads right now, and one that normally takes a little bit of time to, kind of come together naturally. But I mean, it was insane how fast it came together, and obviously in the best way possible. So we're certainly fortunate with that going on right now.
What do you, when you look at, I guess, the situation that most teams are in? Do you feel the sense that your athletes have more of an appreciation for the fact that they are out here as opposed to, and again, our other teams are practicing and we're doing the Hornet Cup stuff, but you guys really been able to do things from day one. Is there an extra sense of appreciation because their Hornet teammates aren't able to do that?
I think so. I think, it goes back to, for us, our motto for this year was maximize every moment. And it really stemmed from those kids on the team last year, and really the freshmen, because they had their senior seasons taken away, just like everyone else did nationwide. So being able to appreciate, every opportunity that they're given, whether it be playing in the rain on a Saturday afternoon or playing in sunshine the next week, or going to practice for just a few hours or just hanging out with teammates. But maximizing that time together, maximizing every moment, and utilizing that time to get better, not just on the golf course, obviously, but same thing with their classwork, everything for all of their courses, but just taking in every opportunity, because I think they had a really good example of how quickly it can be taken away. And for us, we're really fortunate because golf tournaments are still going on. I think they were able to play in a few events over the summer coming into this. Collegiate golf is a little bit different, obviously, with the travel and the crossover that we would normally see in the tournaments. Obviously, that's why a lot of those haven't taken place. But they're certainly excited to be out here competing, whether it be an inter-squad tournament or just out here playing in general. So they're impressing me with their attitudes on and off the golf course day in and day out.
Well, we're going to take an opportunity to take a break and rest our voices and get ready for the next group. Again, we've got 3 groups on the course today. The second group should be coming up any moment here on LHSN. All right. We rest our voices. We've got 2 umbrellas now, so we don't have to share. Keep ourselves distance. Masks on, all those wonderful things. And we are ready for the second group. Our good pal Mark Robertson is checking them out on hole 6. And Coach, you were just telling me before we came back how tough that par 5 is on hole 6.
It is. It's quirky. It's a little bit easier than the third hole, like we were talking about. One of the probably the most awkward holes, awkward par 5s in the state, because it forces you to work the ball both directions to be able to score it well. But 6 is another dogleg right. It's off canter. The hole turns left to right. Fairway slopes right to left. We got a creek in front of the green, and a kind of a blind layup if you're going to lay it up. So could be having a little bit of fun, especially the first time seeing it out for a few of these players. So they could be having a little bit of fun before coming on up to
the more you say it, I think your definition of fun and other people's definition is a little bit different.
That's true.
But it also, I feel like that's the mentality you have to have if you're going to play the game of golf.
Absolutely. Beauty in the eye of the beholder, right? I mean, you got to, I tell the guys and girls all the time, and you got to see the beauty in the challenge, because the course designer made it for a certain reason and put things in certain places for specific reasons, whether it be to intimidate them visually off the tee or have it be an actual hazard that'll just go up there and grab your ball and take it away. But I think making an appreciation of that changes your outlook on how the course is going to be played and how you're going to play the course. Mindset is everything here, right? So I think the kids that are able to adapt to that are the ones who play it well and succeed.
Well, we'll see how they adapt to this par 3, hole 7 at Poplar Grove Golf Club in Amherst, Virginia. And this is an interesting group that you have put together as far as the word transfer is concerned.
Yes, this is true. So we've got 1 from last season and 2 from this season. So on the men's side, up on top, we have Eli Moore coming out of Keysville, Virginia. And playing with him is Paul Branch out of Chesterfield, Virginia. On the women's side, we have Nora Noel Nolan, call her No-No for short, who transferred in last January. She's a legacy, as her aunt and mom both went here in the mid-'80s, so carrying on the Hornet legacy. And then finishing out that group, we have Peyton Smith from Frederick, Maryland, who's a true freshman, but a gamer, one who seems to turn up to the challenge.
So we'll go up top first with the men.
It looks like we have Paul Branch up there getting ready to fire away. Again, 184 today. Tricky little pin. Tricky conditions, to say the least.
And it's coming
Ball's
right
coming
at
in
us.
low. It might need to get up a tad. Safely aboard, but we're going to see how that subtle ridge comes in play in the middle of that putt. That's, on paper, should be an easy 2-putt, but in reality, the architect of this course has made some fun for him.
Yeah, paper is always easier
than
reality, it seems, as Eli Moore will take his tee shot.
Starting out a little right. Might have been a club slip, but going to be right behind Paul, it looks like. Again, we're going to see 2 shots, I think, and 2 different styles of approaching that shot.
Let me ask you, just real quick before the ladies go, we've seen, really, with the exception of Watson, all 4 men have gone way right. Is that
so?
What do you think that's from?
Yeah, from up on top at the tee box looking down, it looks like short and short left are just dead in the water misses. And it looks like the green extends out to the right in a safe manner, so that's definitely going to be the place to miss. But on top of that, they're not accounting for the change in elevation as well as the current conditions. So a lot of times when the club face gets wet or the ball gets wet, we can see kind of like a jumper type deal happen with the ball, where it scoots off and might fly an extra few yards than you're used to. So those are all things that they have to take into account in every single shot now, in addition to the lie and temperatures and all kinds of fun things.
All the normal things, yeah.
So we got the freshman, Peyton Smith, getting ready to fire away here.
Coach Verka talked about her being a gamer. She shows up in competition to see what she does.
She loves it. Anything competitive, she's right there in it. going through her normal every shot pre-shot routine. So if something bugged her there, she might restart that. Yep. 1, 2, 3 with the waggles. And fire away. Ball might need, that might be on a similar line to Emily's.
Sure is.
A great shot
much
here.
Closer.
Phenomenal. She's going to have a very similar putt to what we just saw Andrew and Steven have for par. Only hers going to be for a nice little 2.
So Peyton Smith continues to look good as far as what we've seen so far today.
Absolutely.
Don't have scores yet.
Now we're going to get an update from them here in about 2 holes as they make the turn. And we pray that Mother Nature tends to let up on them just a little bit coming into the back 9.
Nora Noel Nolan,
Yep, going through
affectionately
a full
known
pre-shot.
as No-No.
You hear everybody say all the time, get lost in the process, and we talk about that a lot in golf, is getting lost in your pre-shot routine to take out all of the outside noise from everything around you. Similar line, going to be a good, oh, this could feed to the toe. Nice.
So both ladies,
I'm telling you, just
crushing it on their tee shots.
they must have had a closest to the pin contest in that part there. They had a little side action going.
Well, from where we're standing, I don't know who's closer. It looked pretty even.
I can guarantee they're getting in the cart saying, I think I'm closer. There will probably be some jawing once they get on the green. And
so as they make their way down to the green, everyone will have a pretty good chance to go for birdie and par here at hole 7. And just a reminder again that if you'd like to check out the rest of the schedule for the Hornet Cup, it's easy to do so. LynchburgSports.com has kind of the format of what we're working with, plus the dates and times for all the other teams in action and the links to the broadcasts. We do have plans to live stream everything else for the Hornet Cup. So make sure that you put that in your calendar and get ready to rock and roll as we see Eli Moore and Paul Branch step onto the green. They've got a little more work to do than the ladies.
I think they're secretly admiring the ladies' shots there as they walk on by to theirs, but I think they're up for the challenge of dealing with that kind of quirky little ridge there in the middle of the shot.
So Moore brings the putter as well as a wedge.
Paul's already made his decision, and I think a smart one.
Yeah, he's just right there on the cusp of the green.
Now, there's no rule on what club you have to use at any time, so he could be using wedge from on the green if he chose. Greenskeeper might not be too happy about that, but again, playing lift, clean, and place, so that's why you're seeing him be able to clean the mud off the ball. A lot of plug shots, a lot of mud balls out here today.
Well, the way my game goes sometimes, I just use a wedge just to try something else, and sometimes it works out better. So, looking at our tiptoes, trying to see the shot from Moore here.
He's got a really tight lie, and on a wet surface when you have a tight lie, it adds to the difficulty of the shot.
And he's definitely got patches of grass and dirt. Chips it, and was it beat the crest? It'll stop right on top.
So he had a few options there, and I think he took the smart play, the percentage shot, of trying to bank it into the hill, kill the speed, and then let it release. Just needed another foot or two, really. Would have been an excellent shot. Now Paul's going to play a very similar style shot, obviously just on the ground the whole time with the putter. Unless he pulls out something crazy that we're not expecting.
Well, they know they're on camera now, so let's see if they go for tried and true or highlight reel.
Oh, bobbled off the start there. Might be right behind Eli. So both men going to be...
Well, you said similar approach. I think that's as close as it gets.
I think they're playing a little too much of that partner approach there.
So the men will still be trying to get it
I think
a little bit closer.
Both men might still be out here. Sometimes you like that, though. After a shot that you might not have been too pleased with, sometimes it's better just to get on to the next, and I give you a chance to overthink it. These greens, though, these greens can get into your head and make you second-guess your reads a lot of times, which just adds to the challenge that they're presented.
Paul Branch for par.
Good pace.
Good speed, well
smooth
played.
roll. Just never got the turn that he was expecting off of that.
+1 for Paul Branch here on hole 7. So now Eli Moore, also looking for par. Lets the gravity do the work.
Similar line. Both got tricked by lay of the land there. Let's see what the ladies can do on their birdie attempts.
You talked about Emily Squared being roommates and playing similar. These guys aren't roommates, are they?
They are not.
Okay.
Both transfers in this year. Maybe they made a pact early on today that, okay, we got to make the same score every hole. In a similar fashion, nonetheless.
So Peyton Smith and Nora Noel Nolan have been waiting patiently.
And you can see one of the subtle differences there. Obviously, flag stick in, flag stick out. With the recent changes to the rules, obviously this is 100% allowed, so it's all up to personal preference.
And she's been doing that all day, so that's what she prefers. Here she is for birdie. Just rolled outside.
Smooth roll.
At the last moment. And so, certainly if she can make par, that's not bad, but when you come that close, that's difficult.
You can tell she wanted that one. But that's the challenge of golf, right? On to the next shot right away.
All right, Nolan's turn. I saw her back on hole 2, and she didn't like the way she finished. This for birdie. Well done.
Nice bird. Look at that big smile.
That is a much better reaction than the last time I saw her today. Birdie for Nolan.
Allen back big time here.
And a par for Smith. So Red gets the win, if you will, on that hole. Thanks to
I think we had a flip-flop there where last hole the men made 2 pars and the ladies made 2 bogeys, and we flip-flopped there. I think the women might have the slight advantage going into the turn now. So we got a fun group here on the tee now. We've got a mix of experience and freshmen fresh off their kind of a interesting senior year coming into it. So on the men's side, we got returner Chase Petrie out of Chesterfield. And it looks like on the tee first is going to be Harrison Smith out of Kent Island, Maryland.
Harrison and Chase going with the Andrew Watson, no jacket. I'm out here in the elements. And
it goes back to embracing that challenge, right?
Yep. I can't. I got to put a jacket on. I got to. Can't embrace it that way today. Harrison Smith's tee shot. Par 3, hole 7.
Fading just a little bit. Might be in a very similar spot to where we just saw Paul and Eli.
A little further up the bank. Rolls
Coming back. Getting a little bit of action back. He's going to have a similar shot to what Paul just had, maybe a few feet closer.
And decision to make on what club to use.
Harrison's another one, similar to Peyton. No relation, obviously. They're the same last name, but a gamer, one who shows up for the competition and loves to grind away at it.
I got that sense on hole 1, just watching him tee off, and he's very loose and just really excited to be out here today.
Chase is another one. Chase is one that finds a way to get it done. He told me earlier today he's not hitting the tee shot all that well on the par 4s and 5s, but he's one that will find a way to get it done.
Well, here he is, tee shot at 7.
Good looking shot.
It's
Might
coming
need
to the
sit down just
flag
a little
here.
bit. Smart shot there. Well, 18-20 footer.
Stuck hard in the green, and that'll
Gonna have a little weird angle. There's another subtle ridge line right there that's gonna influence the putt ever so slightly. And
so now to the ladies.
We do. We got the newcomer Gracie Cannon from Yorktown, Virginia, on the tee. An awesome last name. I mean, you can't get any better. And she hits it out there with anybody. So the perfect last name for her in this scenario.
She'll have to be somewhat nimble on this one so that we don't get hit. High.
Nice high towering shot. It's going to need to sit down or spin just a little bit, I think.
And it's going beyond the green into the mulch bed to our right.
I don't know if you felt it there, but we had a giant gust of wind.
We sure did.
Just now. Ball getting that high up in there is going to be affected a lot more than obviously the low penetrating shot. Going to be a fun one off that.
All right, on to the grad student. Maddie Cody.
You go from brand new freshman to someone who's played her fair share of college golf. Graduate student in her second year. Obviously gifted that by the NCAA last year after the COVID year. But came to us after playing 3 years of Division III college golf over at Hanover. And I mean, you can't say enough. You got 5 years of experience in one side of the cart and fresh off high school in the other.
But she hasn't played here before.
No.
And here's her first tee shot at 7.
Good looking shot. Might need to sit just a touch.
So the ladies this time around are stronger than they'd like to be. And no one on the green but one. And that is the Chase Petrie.
We're going to see some fun shots here. We're going to see a demonstration of quite a variety of short game shots. That mulch is going to be tricky to play off of. Got to play it similar to a bunker almost.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky that there haven't been any plants planted yet.
Right. Well, I'd imagine it has more give than a bunker.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. You can correct me on that, but I mean, you don't get to practice on mulch very often. You don't want to practice on mulch.
One that you never forget once you hit that shot, though. It plays a lot like very fine powdered sand that you might find in like a Florida golf course. And this feels like fresh mulch, so I think we're going to see an explosion shot coming out of that. And then Maddie's on kind of an awkward lie there, too, as well. Downhill slope going into an uphill slope off of a kind of a questionable lie, so going to have some fun.
Yeah, with that word fun.
I'm telling you. You have to embrace it as such, though. I mean, that's otherwise.
Well, it's too long of a day
absolutely.
to be consumed with one bad shot. It's just another opportunity to try something else.
So don't be deceived, but Gracie is currently playing for Team Red. Might have thrown on a jacket.
She threw a gray jacket on. That's right.
So we got 3 red team and Maddie, the lone gray team here, trying to hold it up for team on that side.
Is that gray team for the gray hair since she's the oldest one? Is that what you were doing?
You said it, not me.
Well, she brought 3 clubs with her, so we'll see what she decides.
Trying to decide. So Gracie has a much more straightforward shot.
Out of the mulch.
Like I said, that stuff's going to be tough to play through. And honestly, she only needed 2 more feet for that shot to roll out and be really good.
And there's where that thick grass came into play as well.
100%. And like you said, it's not a shot that you're going to practice every day.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we need to put that into our practice regimen, but again, it's not a shot you're going to see.
You don't want to, yeah.
Once but every 10 rounds.
So it looks like Cody's going to go next, just in front of us here. On the incline, second shot.
See, she got the dreaded and kind of cursed kick off the collar there, where an inch forward or an inch behind and totally different outcome. But you get that combination of fringe and green, and it just shoots it forward like a cannon.
Well, speaking of cannon, Grace's turn now. Third shot.
Such a tough shot. Not a bad leave, though. It's a putt that, again, we saw earlier that broke just a little bit more to the left than players were thinking.
Time for the men. Both on Team Red.
Again, similar line to what Paul might have just had. And got to judge the reaction of the ball as soon as it hits onto the surface. And then judge that pace coming down that hill after the ridge.
Harrison bringing the putter, and only the putter. He knew what he wanted to do.
Looks to be judged pretty well. That ball should move back just a little bit to the right. But again, that moisture on the green slowing it down just a little bit more as time goes on.
Very manageable putt for par.
Absolutely.
And he's going to go for it, or just take the flag out for chase.
Yeah.
Petrie's second shot. Good contact.
Oh,
just misses.
Good run. Another great attempt that, again, you know, maybe 6 inches less pace, and takes the break and dives in.
So this for bogey for Cannon.
What a great putt.
Excellent speed. Certainly not
See,
the
smile
result
on
that
the
she
face,
wants,
and
but
that goes back to what we were talking about, right?
Right.
Might have seen some rough shots, but walking off the green with a smile is key to going on to the next hole with a positive mindset.
So Cody has a chance at par. Long putt, slightly uphill.
Looks like it's going to be breaking a little bit from her right to left. Again, going through her full routine. And that's the thing that we wanted to see out of these events, is give them a chance to feel the pressures that they're going to and in the collegiate environment. Put that routine to test and use it as a building stone of things that we might need to work on going into the tournaments later on.
And Cody makes par.
A little fist bump on top. Talk about maximizing every moment and appreciating the opportunity to be out here, especially for Maddie with her in her final year of her graduate program and staying extremely busy, going to get her master's in athletic training, so obviously staying busy with all of our sports now, back up and in motion for practices. So she's working hard to stay out here and have some fun.
She's certainly having fun after that shot, and now it's time for the boys. Harrison Smith. This for par.
Again, it's a tricky pin location. You got slopes on either side of it influencing the last little break in the putt.
So +1 for Harrison Smith and Grace Cannon.
It's all right. That'll give them motivation going into the final 2 holes of this 9 and onward.
So see if the experienced group can get par as Petrie steps up after an excellent second shot. And he's
cleaning
even.
up that par and on to the next. No harm done.
Great job, everybody. Well done by all three groups. So, of course, a lot more golf to come here from Poplar Grove Golf Club in Amherst, Virginia. We have plans to cover hole 18. We'll see if we can dry stuff off and get there, and we'll certainly be itching to post that link on our Twitter page at Lynchburg Sports, and right here on YouTube as well. You can find it. It's a public link. You come back a little bit later, and hopefully we'll see everybody come in for the final shot of the day, and hopefully we got some scores.
That's right.
At that
we're
point
going to get a 9-hole score here in a second, and hopefully Mother Nature decides to let us continue on for the back 9.
Yes. Well, thanks so much, Coach, for helping us out, for basically helping me out and a lot for getting through that hole. First time we ever done something like this, and it's just it's great to be out here. So we're looking forward to hole 18 as well, and more to come from what's so far. Even though it's a gloomy day, it's been a great day of golf.
Absolutely. We'll see some fun later on.
I got it.